Alright, I'm going to do one last kiln video here showing the firing I'm doing. It's a 1325C, so that's right around cone 13, I believe. Here's the profile. We ramp up fairly quickly. This is material that's thermal shock resistant, so we don't have to worry too much about the ramp up. Then we kind of taper off as we get hotter, just to keep the gas flow approximately equal throughout the firing. And then we do about an hour hold at 1325, followed by a cool down, and then finally the gas controller will shut off around 825C, which is a safe limit for the stainless steel burners. So that's the profile. Let's take a look at the kiln. I've got the whole thing set up tonight. We have the heat exchanger mounted on top. Using that, I'm getting 569 degrees of preheat going into the burners, which helps me reduce my gas usage. So that's that. And then we're also going with the temperature controller. You can see it here at 1226. So we're easing. We have about 100 more degrees to go before we hit the hold temperature. Last night I did a bisque firing, and as you can see, 35.3 is the gas valve setting. That was approximately the setting that the gas valve was at for the bisque firing at 1050. But with the preheat, you can see that I'm at 1227 and using almost the same fuel for a couple hundred more degrees. So that's working out really well. Now, going back to the kiln here, one mistake I made in the past was to put the heat exchanger directly over the vent hole. Here you can see it's offset. That way, if any of the crud falls off the heat exchanger, it won't fall into the kiln and potentially contaminate the materials. I'm also keeping this a little cooler than I did before. I overheated it once, so we got to be careful that we just keep it at a nice red glow, not orange or anything brighter than that. Alright, here we are. We finally got to the holding temperature, 1325. It's holding pretty good. What you can see is that the gas valve is at 35.3, which is about the same as it was at 1050 without the heat exchanger. So a huge improvement in the efficiency, especially at these ridiculous temperatures above cone 10. So we're in the hold. Let's take a look at the kiln. You see that's not terribly hot, the exchanger. My previous videos it was a lot hotter. In fact, it got damaged a little bit, but here I'm keeping the temperature of the preheat to a reasonable value, about 600 degrees F. It seems to work pretty well. Now, another thing to note here is the oxygen sensor. I've got it hooked up. Running about 1.26, which is, pretty lean actually, but without having the oxygen sensor in the control loop, you run the risk of going rich and the temperature dropping, which means the temperature controller makes it even more rich and it goes into runaway. So I have to keep it safely on the lean side. Alright, well that's the update. Everything's looking good. I'll check back near the end of the 1 hour hold here and see what the gas valve is showing. Alright, we're almost at the end of the firing here. It's so stable, using hardly any fuel, which is really impressive. So we were using 35 or 6 before. Almost at the end, 31.6. So we're very efficient here. It's very good. We're maintaining our preheat temperature right around 600. Everything's looking good. Hopefully all my pieces turn out. Alright, thanks for watching.